Yes, I'm going to go live again now. This is take two of my favorite topic. It's called Blitzkrieg of Love. And the reason I'm going live again is because I did this like 2 minutes ago, and it was like a silent movie in the what is it, in the 20th 21st century. So I think my friend Paul Kurch mentioned it in the Facebook that the sound is not coming, but I'm such an idiot that I don't know how to check it. But this is good. I think hopefully this time the sound is coming. If not, there will be two silent movies, and I will try it again tomorrow. But first, why am I doing this? Is I have to give some foundational things for all of you. That there is a question that looks like a very important question to ask, but usually it's a meaningless question. And that question is there anything I can do to help you? What a good question it looks like. You should everybody should be asking. And I'll tell you honestly, that question is really a puzzle that you're posing to someone, that you're asking that question to. Why? Because let's imagine you were talking to Bob and you want to really help him, or you want to just pretend to help him. Whatever be your case, let's assume that you have noble intention, you really want to help him, right? You can ask a question. Hey Bob, is there anything I can do to help you? And then now think about Bob's situation, right? He has to think, hmm, this John wants to help me, and then now I want to ask him to help me, but I actually don't know what to ask him because I have no idea what is allowed to ask, what is reasonable to ask, what is reasonable to ask now, and what are John's superpowers. So, and then if I ask what, he will look like it look like a reasonable request. If I ask what, it look like oh, what a jerk! I just asked him if I can help you, and then he's trying to take over my life with his requests. So now usually Bob says, no, I'm good. Thank you so much. I'll think if I think of something, I'll ask you. And that's the easiest cop out response because he really wants your help, but he has no idea what exactly to ask. So that question on one end, it looks like a lip service. That means you really want to pretend to help the other person. On the other side, it looks like you really want to help him, right? So, but it shows the lack of sort of I would say you don't know that you should not be asking this question, right? So basically, either way, it does not serve the purpose. So now I started thinking that if I tell this question is the not right and right question or most optimal question, what should be the question that you should be asking? And I thought about it for a long time. I just sort of played around with other questions, and I finally realized that the best question to ask when you want to help someone is not to ask any question at all, because you don't have to ask any question. Why? Because when you want to help someone, all you have to do is be very thoughtful, in the sense you want to listen to where they are going, and then you start thinking what are their strengths and what are their sort of perceived limitations, and what is reasonable, what kind of network do they have, what kind of skills do they have, what kind of hunger do they have to, if when they can't get through something, how much of staying power do they have, how much of commitment do they have, what is their why, which is like how important is this question, so you know how much internal strength and internal commitment and the force with which they will move, you will already know it. And then what else can you bring to add capacity to their life? And why ask a question? You can easily give them the help they need without asking one question. Why do you need to ask any question? Is there anything I can do to help? If there is anything you can do to help, just help them. Why ask? Right? That will make them so happy. So now I want, whenever I have something like this to share, I also want a metaphor that will create a very good sort of anchoring point, so that next time we face the situation where we feel like, what is the question I should ask? You stop and think of this metaphor, and that the metaphor that I started using was the metaphor of the concept of a blitzkrieg. So the dictionary definition of blitzkrieg is an intense military campaign intended to bring about swift victory. And I think this thing was used in the days of World War, where it was Germany that devised this technique, where they would come after the enemy with all their might and force and with every kind of surprise they have from 6 or 7 different directions with amazing amount of force. So with their might and surprise, they make the opponent just surrender or just get annihilated, right? So basically, it's a force of might and surprise from all directions. Now, what about if I just change that blitzkrieg to blitzkrieg of love? What would change? So you see, there is a big change. This is the definition I made up. It's an intense generosity campaign intended to bring about a swift growth in them. The difference, you see, it's blitzkrieg is an intense military campaign. Military is the important. It's about offense, right? And the focus is on swift victory for you. And let's take the blitzkrieg of love. Here we say an intense generosity campaign, and the difference is the focus is intense, swift growth for them. One is focus is them with the love, and other one is focus is for you on victory. Right? There's a big difference. So once it gets into your DNA, and then the need for you to ask the question like, is there anything I should do to help you, will go away, and there will be magic because you think about it. You meet someone and you just make an assessment of what they need what are their hopes, dreams, fears, wants, what is their what is this hunger, where they want to go, what is their why, and what is their superpower. Once you make an assessment and you just don't ask them and you start helping them, and not just help them with the checklist item, like a small little help just to feel that I helped kind of thing. Not just that, but actually bring your entire superpower, uh, and then just go all out and then start bringing everything that you have to provide valuable help. What is valuable help? Valuable help is basically something act of providing your capacity or bringing your capacity, so that with very minimal incremental cost to them, they get a huge leverage or huge advantage or a huge growth or a huge progress that it is impossible to not notice, and it will add to their confidence, so that on their own they can make even more progress. That's when you have provided valuable help, right? And you have to remember 2 3 things before you go all out in your very next meeting. This kind of blitzkrieg of love, and good morning, Connor. I now I know where to see the comments. This is all I'm learning process for me. Thank you so much for your support, and thanks for being here. I think you are in Spain, so I can understand. Otherwise, I didn't think anybody will even attend this. So the next coming back, you have to remember a few things. First is, when you show with a blitzkrieg of love, this is not something that the other person is expecting, because most people are used to seeing lip service. So which means that most people who offer help are wanting to pretend to offer help, right? So basically, they don't want to help because they just hope that, is there anything I can do to help? They wish that they hope that the other person says, no, it's okay, I'm good or something. So they feel like they offered help, the other person didn't want, so I'm good. So you feel good about your offering of help, not because of your help. When I say you, I'm not thinking of you. I'm just thinking normal, everybody is common people, or just the people in the middle of the bell curve, right? So even if you want to help, so when you start helping, people are not expecting overwhelming amount of help, right? So you have to do it with care, that they don't get start doubting, what does this person really want? Why is he doing all these things? So, and then they stop receiving your help and start trying to uh, solve the mystery of what do you really want? Why are you doing all these things? So that's not good either, right? So basically, you want the person to benefit from your help, not get overwhelmed, not get confused. So you start thinking at what level of help you have to sort of just give them some space so that they can go and implement whatever you are doing. Or if you make an introduction, just give some space so that they can go and meet the person and make something happen. But always remember what else you could do and make a note of it, so that when the time comes, this is very important, proactively go and offer them the help, not wait for them to ask. Here is another reason why this question is not the right question to ask, because even if they got it and then they said, I'm going to ask for help, what is the help they can ask from you? They have only their space of possibilities within which they can ask for help. They think, okay, from where I am, I can go this distance. So I will ask for help only to cover the distance. But you, if you are in a if you are in a vantage position, in a such a vantage position where you can see more possibilities for their personal and professional lives, way more than what they can see for themselves. So you can open up those possibilities and give them an aha moment in times 10 that they could not have done it on their own. So that's why if you let them ask, even if they ask and you actually fulfill their request, it may not be the exact thing that they want. This is what they think they need, but you know what they could have because you see more possibilities for them than they can see for themselves. So when you do this, you become what is called as a merchant of possibilities. So that is one spot in anybody's life that will get a red carpet welcome in their life, because there are very few merchants of possibilities. There are very lot of good people, but they all fall. Many of them will fall into the trap of, let me ask them what they want. They may think what they want is the biggest thing that they can get, but you know that whatever they want is still a small amount, small set of possibilities. Because in their experience, that is the maximum they think they can have. If you know that they can have a lot more, they can contribute a lot more, they can grow a lot more, it's almost it becomes your duty to open up their eyes to new possibilities way beyond what they have imagined. So that you can do with practicing the Blitzkrieg of Love. And this has worked for me very, very well. And I hope that this will work for you too. Please try to implement it. And as to show that everybody has a learning curve, the previous silent movie, I'll not delete it. So somebody said I can just go and delete this video. I'll just leave it there so that if somebody else is starting their live stream, they should know that if they don't check their mic, it'll become a silent movie, and it's not good. So let my experience or the blind spot that I had help somebody else not go through the same silent movie creation. It's I leave it there for historical purposes. So thank you so much for everyone who is watching and supporting. If there are any questions, please post it in the comments. If I know how to answer those questions, I'll answer them. And if I don't know, I'll say I don't know, because I don't know everything and I really don't know what I don't know. So, but whatever questions I can answer, I'll answer. Otherwise, there may be more smart people in my timeline and they may be able to answer. So whatever it is, thank you so much for all your support. Until next time, you have a happy morning ahead.